How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel and the video review of the FuriBee Fuuton 200, the 200mm racer plug and play version. Now, I've already taken it out and messed with it already, but I have put everything back in the box to show you how nicely this thing comes packed in. So let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. There is the instruction manual, and it is pretty in-depth. It tells you the software installation setup for Betaflight and the firmware upgrade and the links to setting up the OSD. And in the back it tells you the specs and how to bind to individual receivers. And on the inside they give you a nice diagram of the main board, and this is the Holybro Kakute version 1 main board, top and bottom diagrams, and tells you all of the pins and all of the pads and what they do. So that is really nice. And check that out, nice foam cover on the top, and it is all packed in with grooves already made there. This is the camera mount. It is made for the GoPro Session 1 as well as the old GoPro or the E camera. And we have the FuriBee antenna here, and they give you an extra battery strap. I must say the battery strap is pretty solidly made. They give you a couple of zip ties and a little paper indicating all of the frequencies of the VTX, and the quadcopter itself nicely tucked in there, really nice. And they also give you an extra set of props. All right, so here is the FuriBee Fuuton 200, and as I pick it up, it is very light. I want to see how much this thing weighs, so let's bring in the scale. All right, let's place it right on top just by itself, and it weighs in at 268 grams. Nice. All right, let's take a look at the quadcopter. 268 grams. Now that is mainly due to this 3K full carbon X-frame unibody design, and it is a solid piece of carbon fiber frame, and it is 4 millimeters thick. Now looking at the bottom of the quadcopter, you can see that the motor pod has these protrusions sticking out, and that is to help reduce the impact to the motors in case you get into a crash. So that is a really nice feature there. Now right up on the middle here in the battery bay, we have the anti-slip pad already stuck onto the bottom, so your battery doesn't slip out once you do get into a crash. And what I do have here is a zip tie holding down the battery cable in case I do get into a crash, and it will help minimize the stress to the soldered joints onto the main board. Now up on this side here, there is a buzzer. You can assign one of your switches in your configurator to help find your quadcopter in case you land in some heavy brush. Now looking at the compartment, as you can see, there's tons of room. I do have my receiver already installed, but as you can see, there's just one single main board, and this is a Holybro Kakute version 1 main board with integrated flight controller, OSD, and PDB all in one, and it is preloaded with Betaflight 3.0.1. Looking up in the front here, there's the FPV camera, and let me show you the up tilt on this baby here. Are you ready? Check that out. It goes straight up, almost 90-degree full tilt. Now, if you can fly your quadcopter like this, I take my hat off to you. My angle of flight is about 15 degrees, and at the most I'll put it up towards about 20 degrees. Now let's go ahead and take off the lens cover, and we have the 2.5 millimeter lens with 140 degree field of view. It is a 600 TV line CCD camera, and it is hooked up to the VTX in the back, and it is a 5.8 gigahertz 600 milliwatt VTX. Now, to some of you, that might cause a problem if you are flying amongst friends, but if you are flying solo and through heavy treed areas or through buildings, this might be a welcome VTX for you. It has 40 channels, and there is that one button frequency and channel changer, and the LED indicator as well. And it is also hunkered down by one zip tie right onto the LED strip board. And once you power this on, the LEDs are solid red all around, but you are able to configure it in Betaflight and change the colors to your liking. The motors are 2205 2500 kV brushless motors, and it is the low profile design, and that helps further reduce the weight of this quadcopter as well. It has 50/40 3-bladed props, and the ESCs are BLHeli S 20 amp ESCs with 30 amp burst, and it supports DShot125 and DShot150 as well. Now, it is hunkered down by a double-sided tape only, so you might want to go ahead and zip tie this baby down just in case it gets loose and starts to flap, and you don't want the props hitting your ESCs. Now, looking at the compartment, I have my XSR Frsky receiver already installed, and I got the antennas sticking out of a couple of holes that is not being used. So let's go ahead and open this baby up and show you how I attach the XSR receiver. Okay, I have the 4 screws taken off, and also I have taken off the antenna for the VTX. So go ahead and lift this thing off very gently, and be careful because there's still the plug still connected to the LED strip, as well as the connector for the VTX is still plugged in. So just move it over to the side. Let me go ahead and take my receiver out from the inside and pull it towards this side, and move the top board away so we can see what's going on. Now, the XSR receiver comes with this connector, but it comes with these 5 wires attached to it. So I have taken all of these wires out and put them on the side, save it for a rainy day. And the quadcopter has 3 wires that is coming out of the board, and the receiver connector was this small little one that has 4-pin connector. So what I've done was I have released the wires from this connector, and that is pretty simple to do. The wires would have been in here, and what you need to do is just lift up one of these little stoppers right there, and the wire that is attached will slide right out. These are the little clips that hold the wire in place, so you need to lift that up with some kind of a tool and slide those 3 wires out. And those are the 3 wires that are right here. Now, on the XSR, the far end wire is the S-bus wire. So according to the board here, and that is the S-bus wire coming out. So plug that into the far end, and also the power and the ground to the respective pins ports, and plug that into your XSR receiver. And that is all I did. No soldering required, just exchanging the wires and their ports. So really easy to do, and it took me maybe about 5 minutes or so to do this. So it was really nice, and you are done. You got your XSR receiver connected to your FuriBee Fuuton 200. At this point, what you want to do is put back the antenna, and you can go ahead and do the binding process. Set up the model on your transmitter, and go ahead and hit that bind button and power on the quadcopter at the same time, and it goes into the binding mode. And hit that bind button on the model page you have set up for the Fuuton 200, and hit that bind button, and you are all set and bounded to your transmitter and ready to go. Okay, since I have the top cover off, this is a perfect time to place your camera mount. The camera mount goes in right there, and it fits perfectly in grooves already made. And as you can see, there's a couple of grooves inside there. As you can see, that those 2 grooves, well, that is where you are going to place the 2 given zip ties. You're going to wrap the zip ties around those 2 areas right there and secure your camera mount in place. And then you can go ahead and put the screws back on and put your receiver in there, and maybe a zip tie will tie down your receiver as well. Okay, I have put everything back on there. All the screws are tight, as well as the camera mount is perfectly in there now. And as you can see, there are the 2 zip ties holding it down, and it is on there pretty solid. All right, so now what you can do is, if you have a GoPro session, it fits on here perfectly. And as well as if you got one of these guys will fit on here perfectly as well. Just move the antenna and tilt it back a little bit, and of course you are given the extra Velcro strap to strap it right through that hole and around your camera, and that works out very well. All right, let's check out the OSD menu. Now what you want to do here is put your throttle right down to the middle and yaw all the way to the right, and put that pitch stick all the way forward, and you are in the OSD menu. The first page is the PID configurations page. Here what you can do is scroll up with your pitch, scroll down, or scroll to the left with your pitch, and scroll to the right. And if you want to change any of the values, you can right yaw to increase the values, or left yaw to decrease the values, just like that. And when you are done, you can scroll down to the bottom, and you can go ahead and exit by yawing to the right. Or if you want to go ahead and flip through the pages, the next page is the tunings page. The next is the voltage page. Next is the RSSI page, the currents page, the display page, the advanced page, and the time page, the alarms page, the statistics page, and you are back to the PID config page. So on the fly, adjustable parameters are available with just your transmitter with the OSD. All right, that is just about everything I have on the FuriBee Fuuton 200 at the moment. However, I did manage to get out this morning to the field and do a little bit of a hover test and some line of sight flying. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that footage. I will be uploading more videos with FPV footage as well, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's take a look at some of the screenshots of the Betaflight configurator. All right. Pretty decent. It looks to be very stable, and it's pretty quiet actually. Pretty nice. These props are pretty nice. Okay, let's just get the feel for this baby here. Really nice. I am in angle mode. Okay, let's check out the punch. Oh yeah. Wow, that was some power. Let's do that one more time. Nice. Yeah. Not bad. I'll do it one more time. Wow. Wow, look at how quiet it is. Passing by a little bit further away. And that's just cruising there. Wow. Very nice flyer. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do some flips in horizon mode. Oh, nice. Wow, very quick flips. Not bad. Bring it in a little closer here. Very nice. And not much prop wash coming down either. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Did a double whammy there. Nice. Do a little slower one. Nice, nice. Okay, I think that's pretty good for hovering and line of sight test. Very nice quadcopter, this Fuuton. Very responsive, very fast. Wow. Having fun just flying around line of sight. Alright, gonna bring it in for a landing. I want to just land it in the grass, I think. Alright, right there is good. Alright.